I've been known to.
How are you, sir? Good morning. Yes, yes.
How are you doing, Mike? I'm fine. Oh, he's got sweet. I've been here
That's all right. Appreciate y'all coming out. Yeah. These places. So good morning. Our sunshine open Use our real estate. We got We are.
Let's switch sides. Yes. Do you have a problem over there?
Hey, if I can have your attention, please. I appreciate y'all coming out. Now, that's probably about the best my voice is going to be today, but that's all right, because it's been worth it. By the show of this crowd, y'all, you can tell, I'm not lying when I say it has been an amazing week with the amount of people that have been coming out at every stop that we've been hitting to talk about this race and this election coming up, and the one in November. And to me, it's just a testimony of just how you know how important that this election is.
Yes.
You know like I do that we've got a U.S. Senator, John Ossoff. He should have been there in the first place.
That's right. Tell us about it.
But I can guarantee you one thing. We're going to take care of him in November. We're going to send him back to wherever he came from because it sure wasn't. And y'all know just like I do, this rascal doesn't represent Georgia.
No.
He doesn't represent the people or our values. I have not met one single person anywhere I have been that agreed that men should be playing in girls' sports. Or somebody that's been taken up for these illegal immigrants as much as he has. That's been his primary objective. So anyway, that's a side note. That was extra. Let's roll through. I like to give kind of an outline of kind of how I want to present this thing. I'll start out by telling you a little bit more about who I am, and then kind of a good picture of what's going on and how the field's laying out, how we're going to get where we're going at the end of the day. And we'll try to take a couple of questions after that, because I know we were rolling a little bit tight, but I had to. Y'all, the 10th district's got an incredible education system, and we're sending 14 students to military academies. And I love to do little signing ceremonies, kind of like they do when they get athletic scholarships. And I just couldn't pass Oconee County this morning without stopping and doing a ceremony. So that's why I was pushing so tight on time. And I had a suit on before I got here, but I had change coming up the road and got on my campaign attire.
Hope you weren't driving.
Well, it depends on who you are, but I can't tell everything. I'm a professional truck driver, though, so we can do a lot of things.
Amen, truck drivers.
So, listen, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mike Collins. I was born, raised, lived, worked the whole 9 yards in Butts County, Georgia. Been there forever, a little town called Jackson. I've been married to Leanne for 37 years. We dated through high school, and we have 3 kids, grown kids now, and 7 grandkids. Number 7 finally hit the ground about 3 weeks ago. So we have been very blessed in life. Second generation in the trucking business. I told some folks earlier, my parents hauled logs, and we hauled logs for Georgia Pacific, mostly out of the woods, but I've been to Toccoa up here a number of times. GP used to have a wood yard, a drop yard up here in the 80s. Yep. And matter of fact, it's one of the places that I hauled one of my first loads out of was this yard up here. And it was with a group of other guys in our company. And by the time they ripped this old 18-year-old going down the road enough, I pulled over and said, y'all go ahead. I'll catch you later. But Leanne and I started a trucking company a little over 30 years ago. And in my infinite wisdom, I decided to go to the regulated side of the industry. And I really feel like that 30 years of experience over there is something that's really helped me out. You know, I want you to take a mental picture though as we kind of walk through this scenario, because in October you're going to get the opportunity to see 2 people on stage. Over here you're going to have me, just an old blue collar, successful guy in the trucking business who's been feed on for over 30 years in one of the most regulated and taxed industries there is in this country.
Yeah.
And was able to take that experience to Washington, D.C., and in just the 1 full term I've served, was able to get 2 pieces of legislation passed, signed into law by 2 presidents from different parties.
That's amazing.
Now, over here, you're going to have John Ossoff, a guy who's never had a real job in his life. I mean, he hasn't. A guy that is actually bought and paid for by those crazy folks in California and those nut jobs out of New York. That's where the majority of his money is coming from. And if you don't think that they get him reelected this time, I mean, we call him effectively California's 3rd senator now. They get him reelected, he'll be there till the cows come home. And you don't think they won't call that no dude? And you don't think that just voting for men and girls sports is crazy? He's already shown how he votes. He will continue voting that way, if not harder. So that's your playing field out there. But what I want to focus on is, what's the real mission out there? What's our mission? Our mission is to put a Republican in that seat. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
And like you, I just wanted to make sure and this was before I got in it, that we had the right Republican that would actually go up there and fight. And fight and make sure that they win this, because it's going to take a tough fighter to go up against this guy to win this seat. So when you take a look at the campaigns and everybody that's running in this thing, and I think we've all had the same opportunities, everybody on the Republican primary. I'm the only candidate out there that has been with President Trump since the beginning, 2016. Thank you for turning that down. I'll even go a step further. Even though I've supported him financially and maxed out every time he's run, in 2024, I took it a step further. And I was out across this country with President Trump. I know what it feels like being 40 degrees below zero weather in Iowa. I was out there knocking on doors all across this country. Everybody had the opportunity, but I'm the only candidate running in this race that did that. I'm the only candidate in this race. I took it another step further and went out there and picked out 6 candidates across this country to campaign for them. And there was a reason for that too. I had certain criteria. If you met that criteria, I came out there and knocked doors for several days. And the reason was that I wanted to make sure, we've got good Republicans in the House now, but I wanted to make sure that we could add to that with the right Republicans so that we would make sure we had President Trump's back this time around. Because we didn't always have his back in 2017, and we needed to fix that. Now keep that in the back of your head, because I want to go through what I feel like is the Republican Party. Right, the Republican Party in Georgia is made up of two groups. You've got your MAGA group, the people, low propensity voters. They only show up when Trump's on the ballot or a Trump candidate is on the ballot. Now, I just went through the scenario of the MAGA candidates and who was actually out there. The MAGA people know who was actually that candidate. They know that. But there's another group in the Republican Party as well. And I just call them the Atlanta suburban crowd. Great people. You know what they want? They want somebody to go to Washington and do something.
There you go.
Somebody to go up there and get something done for them. Bipartisan is not a bad word to them. And to me either, if it's good policy. The 2 pieces of legislation that I got signed into law, the second one was Lake and Riley Act. First piece of legislation that the President... Let's just use that as an example, because I could have got Lake and Riley passed out of the House with just Republican votes. We had the majority. But I also knew that I needed leverage over there in the Senate. So I went knocking on Democrat doors. I was walking the halls, talking to them. A lot of them said, Mikey, we ain't ever seen a Republican in here, in our office, ever pushing his bill. Well, guess what? I had 36 Democrats go with us on that piece of legislation. That's the real reason that they got out of the Senate, and they went through regular order. But I also had Democrats, in particular, John Ossoff. Now, when I went over there to talk to him about that piece of legislation, he didn't lift a finger. He didn't offer to help. He could have read the bill while I was sitting there talking to him. It wasn't but 3 or 4 pages long. Common sense. No, he didn't. He voted for it at the end of the day, but it had already passed. But here's the real kicker. Do y'all realize that in just 1 year's time, 1 year, the Lake and Riley Act has taken over 20,000 illegal criminals off our streets, making us safer. That's telling enough right there of who we got over there. Let's take a look at the groups out there supporting us, because y'all, I'm proud to have Lake and Riley's family endorsing and supporting me. We've got the National Border Patrol Council endorsement. Turning Point Action, which is the foundation that Charlie Kirk started. CPAC, Club for Growth. Look, these conservative groups up there, they base their endorsements off of voting records. They're scoring every vote. When you look at the candidates running in this race, I'm consistently in the high 90s with all these. That's why they endorse me. Heck, Club for Growth over here, the economic one, I'm 100% voting record with them. My opponent in this race, he's in the 60s. And I don't think that's very MAGA or America first. Let's go further. You take a look at the 200 plus local and state elected officials that endorse my campaign. All the way up to a former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. There's a couple reasons why they did that. First one is because I deliver results. I know how to win up there. I know how to get it done. If they come to me and ask me to do something, they know that I'm going to get that done. And that's just not a typical politician from Washington, D.C. But there's also another reason. The other reason is the top of that ticket is this U.S. Senate race. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
And if you don't put the right person up there, then some of these down ballot races, y'all, they're getting tighter. They're getting tighter. So we need to make sure that we put somebody up there that can do that. Let's take a look at the polling data out there. Y'all, I've been in the lead in this thing since I got in October. What you may not know is I've been tighter in the margin of error with John Ossoff in every general election poll that there is out there. Why is that? Well, it ain't because we've been dominating the field, but because we've been propped up by somebody else. And it ain't showing because I've been spending the most money out there. But here's what it is. It's because we work hard. I got the best organization. Man, I got the best voting record and the best matches. And y'all, that's what it's going to take to beat John Ossoff in November. Let's keep going further, though. Let's have grassroots support. Because you're not going to win this thing with running the most TV ads. Where you're going to win this thing is in the grassroots operation, doing things, being out here just like we're doing right now, and seeing people eyeball to eyeball so you can kick the tires. Y'all, I'm the only campaign out there that organized all 159. You're going to find a lot of trucking talking here. I'm the only campaign out there that organized all 159 counties with over 800 convoy captains or county chairs. That's unheard of in this, in any election, really.
Yeah.
Those are people out there pushing our message, talking to people, getting the support, putting yard signs. Have any of y'all seen the yard signs?
I have one.
Y'all may not know that we've got over 15,000 yard signs out there, people's yards. People see that. That's what's moving these numbers. That's why we're in the lead in this thing. Let me ask y'all a question. Can I get some? Let me ask y'all a question. How many times have Republicans had the House, the Senate, and the White House, and it seems like we just still struggle to get anything done? Right now. And it always seems like the problem's in the Senate. I mean, we're passing good legislation out of the House, getting it over there, but it falls in a black hole. Never be taken up. It's not that we don't have enough Republicans up there, y'all. It's just the fact that we don't always have the right Republicans. I mean, you got Republicans up there spend your money as fast as a Democrat. I mean, let's face it. I mean, they're scared that if they say no too many times, that when they go to do that annual golf fundraiser, that the Washington lobbyists, they won't show up because they're mad.
Right.
Well, I got a news flash, y'all. I don't play golf. I don't do the cocktails, so thank you. You know, we don't need politicians up there that send millions of dollars overseas either. Not while we got veterans that are sleeping under bridges here that need our help. We don't need politicians up there getting rich off of trading stock either. And we don't need politicians that are running around hollering and screaming at their conservative when they vote like a Democrat.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, any Republican out there, in my opinion, is better than any Democrat. I'll give that. That's true. But just because you got an R behind your name doesn't mean you're going to stand up and take the tough votes and put America first.
Yeah, right.
I will never, ever, ever back down or apologize for being America first, period. Matter of fact, y'all, I'm going to tell you, I am unapologetically pro-God, pro-Trump, pro-Second Amendment, pro-strong military. By gosh, peace through strength works.
Yes.
If it's not good for Georgia, not good for this country, I won't ever support it. Period. Period. If y'all looking for a workhorse, just a good old conservative workhorse out there, I need your help. I'd love to have you vote this. I want to tell y'all, I want to finish up with this. The secret to my success out there and up there, it's real simple. It's just that, y'all, I learned the lessons, the hard lessons from over here in the real world. You know, like how to compromise, when to compromise. how not to budge on certain things. Just how to make sure I get the best deal so that I can keep families fed, my employees employed, just to stay in business. Because I don't know about you, I swear to y'all, there are some days that I felt like the federal government's #1 job was to put me out of business.
Yes.
That's the perspective I took to Washington. That's the perspective that I use on every vote that I take. That's what we need more of in the Senate. That's exactly what you'll get from me, because Lord knows we need a little more backbone over there. Early voting's already started. If you hadn't already voted, I'd love to have you vote. If you already voted, go tell me on change it. It's a bad joke. Shouldn't say that on TV.
Vote early and often.
Listen, I would love to have you vote. Love to have you support. May 19th is coming up quick. Y'all, we're in the short rows on this thing. We are. I think we can finish this thing up in May. I really do. We can feel that momentum. We can feel that push. People know why I'm there, and that's for the right reasons. I'd love to have you help. Y'all do that, man. Y'all get me through May. We'll beat him in November. And y'all, all I'm gonna do is come January, I'll take that old chair I got up there, I'm gonna throw it on top of my desk. I'm just gonna slide it across the rotunda and set up shop on the other side of the Capitol. And the thing is, when I get there, I'm gonna pull something out of my back pocket. It's gonna be a pink slip. And John Ossoff ain't gonna have a clue what that is. So I'm gonna have to tell him, John, you're fired. Thank you so much for your time. Where are we at? We got time for a question? A couple of questions? Okay. I'd love to, if anybody's got anything on their mind, even if you got something you want to share, it may not even be a question. I don't mind it. I think it's important to hear from y'all just as much as it is from me. Yes, sir.
Senator, I know a lot of the MAGA folks are in agreement with Trump over the war in Iran. They seem to like what he's doing. What's your personal feelings and thoughts on how the Iran war is going?
I wholeheartedly support the President of the United States in this. There's a couple reasons. Y'all, I ran originally because I didn't think my kids had the same opportunities that I had. And I don't want them to have the opportunity to fight with a radical Islamic terrorist regime over there who may have nuclear weapons. It is time to quit kicking that can down the road before they get too powerful and put them where they need to be. And that's what we're doing. But we're getting a twofer here now. I mean, we're knocking out a radical Islamic regime over there, but we're also making sure that China pays a fair price on our That's a bonus right there. Because the #1 enemy of the CCP is the United States of America. They've already said it. They want to be dominant by 2045. I'm telling y'all, President Trump stays so far ahead of everybody else in this. It is amazing. So, yes, ma'am.
I'm a senior citizen. I'm a widow, and I own my house outright, no mortgage or anything. But I'm still having to pay taxes on something I bought 30 years ago. And something's got to be done to help us out.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I pay property taxes too. I was fortunate enough to build my first house at the age of 22, and and I know that's a state issue, and that's I'm gladly helping support getting rid of property taxes all we can. So yes, ma'am. I think we pay enough in taxes.
I think we do too.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the lack of medical Senate. What do we do about Mr. Coons? What's your options?
Well, I mean, we never know what the options are when you have a new Senate come into place. So you have to wait and see how you have to wait and see how November turns out first. Before you can even make a commitment on where that goes. But the better we can get conservative, good folks over there. And I hate this. Business people is what I look for, because I'm like President Trump. The more we can run that place like a business up there, then the better off this country is.
There's pressure we can put on them, though, to do.
Oh, I learned at a very, very early age, man. There ain't nothing that happens in that town up there until the American people demand it. When they demand it, it's really crazy how it happens all of a sudden. So things like, I hope you're going towards the Save America Act.
Yes.
Y'all, we need that right now. Make the calls known. Make them known how you feel about the filibuster. I need that thing passed, because that's the last nail in the coffin.
Absolutely.
So what do you hear about that?
That it doesn't have enough Republicans to pass the talking filibuster,
Why?
because you don't have the right people in the Senate.
They don't have a backbone.
That's honestly, that's in the nutshell.
Is there a movement within the Senate to replace John Thune?
I've not heard of one, no, sir. I've not heard of one.
Well,
But hey, if they're like the House, you know. I kid you. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that I think it's awesome that you're here. That you're out here, that you're talking to people, that you're meeting people. And I think it has been so distanced, you know,
Yeah, I tell
for
folks
so
all the time.
long. For 100 years, it's been, let's, you know, distance ourselves from actually talking to people. And I think this is great.
I'm just an old school trucker. Y'all, I've been diamond medallion on Delta for decades. And why is that? Because I believe in going and seeing my customers and telling them what I got to offer and trying to get their business. Well, guess what? I'm looking at my customers right now. So. We got time for one more. I can't even see my thing. One more. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm a customer.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, Lord.
And I've done a lot of research and I've been following your tour, and I do commend you for coming and meeting face to face
Yes, ma'am.
with everybody. Okay, I think that takes guts. And there have been many of us in our district that have been very frustrated with Andrew Clyde because he hasn't met with us. But to a couple of your talking points, I really sincerely want to ask why they are the primary talking points when we have people in the country that are, or even in this county, who can't afford gas. Okay. The one thing that I know that you're very proud of is your Lincoln Riley success, and I think that the Lincoln Riley Act is a good thing. I do think, though, that it's being stretched a little bit to focus on that because Lincoln Riley's dad, with regard to the migrant crime wave, and I'm going to quote, so I'm going to read it. He says, "I think it's being used politically to get those votes. It makes me angry. I feel like, you know, they're just using my daughter's name for that." And the fact is that the FBI's data showed that in 2023-2024, the race of offenders, we had 8,842 white, 6,405 black, and 461 other races. That's our own data. And I just think it's wrong to go around, and it's the same thing with the gender in different sports. How many women are in
I don't want to sing
here?
one. I'm not going to sing.
You might not, but is that what we need to be?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is. And you don't have enough gas to get to vote.
You know, man, I'm
No,
just saying.
and I'm gonna tell you, because you haven't figured it out, I am a Democrat, okay?
Surprise.
You made that clear.
Yeah, and that's okay, because you know what? I'm an American.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a two-party system right now. I believe things that you believe. Now, you won't paint me that way, and as a matter of fact, I sat here and listened to you slam us just from the start. Why is that? Why can't we work together?
Because you're wrong.
That's a good answer.
Because you're stupid.
Oh, no, calling names is not helping. Calling names does not help.
That's right. I know we keep proving it over and
Y'all listen, I
Aren't we
appreciate
all Americans? Aren't we all Americans?
No, I mean, I had other things I could be doing today, but I really wanted to talk.
You wanted to go there.
I'm not gonna do that.
We're pressing on time as well. Thank you all for coming out.